Welcome to the November 2022 Star Wars Canon Update. Last month we got the last 4 episodes of Andor, 2 new books, and 13 comic issues, so let's dive in. Andor episodes 9 and 10 finished off the prison arc on Narkina 5, and it was amazing. Seriously, obviously you all know I love Star Wars, but still, episode 10 was on another level. I think I'll watch it whenever I need to get myself fired up for something. It was insanely exciting, and it had a heartbreaking end. I loved everything about it. The final 2 episodes were also phenomenal. What a season. But seriously, I was shaking after watching the season finale. The explosion of revolution on Ferrix was even better than I could have hoped. I loved Marva's speech from Beyond the Grave. I loved seeing the Time Grappler get to start the Sound of a Reckoning and grapple a stormtrooper. It was emotional and intense all the way through as we saw Cassian not officially join the Rebel Alliance, because that doesn't exist yet, but he did officially announce himself as a rebel. Like I've said in the past, if you're watching this video, you have likely seen the season, so I will move on, but you can check out my episode reviews and full season review and plenty of other coverage at the playlist in the cards. Convergence was the new High Republic novel, the first adult novel of Phase 2. We learned about the Forever War on Irem and Arono, and how it came to a tense ceasefire. I liked the themes explored in the book, I liked the characters, especially Axel Greylark, but I did find myself wishing to learn more about the galaxy as a whole. It felt a little small in scope for an adult High Republic novel, but I do think it set up some interesting threads for the next novel, Cataclysm. You can see my full review of the novel in the cards, and if you're interested in picking up the audiobook, you can for free by following the link in the description or by visiting www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. Quest for the Hidden City was the first young reader book in Phase 2 of the High Republic. It was enjoyable. I don't tend to like them as much as the adult or young adult novels, but this one had a really fun vibe with a monster mystery that I think I would have loved reading back in middle school. I liked learning about the Pathfinder groups and hyperspace prospectors and how they expanded the Republic, but I wish we had seen a little more of that in general throughout Wave 1. Again, you can see my full review of the book in the cards. The High Republic Issue 2 kept on being really fun and interesting, exploring Jedha over 300 years before we see its destruction in Rogue One. I like Vildar Mak a lot as a headstrong and sure-of-himself Jedi getting into trouble over and over. I like Maddie, the younger Padawan, who has a more level-headed view of the city and its politics, and I like Tay Sarek, the vigilante crime fighter. Mak has to get over some embarrassment Tay caused him by nearly killing him, so they can work together to find out who has been stealing artifacts from around the city. If you've read Path of Deceit, I think you know the answer, and we can see the Path of the Open Hand has their foot in the door on Jedha, which I'm already nervous about. The first issue of the new High Republic Adventures series was fun. It's focused on Sav Malagon, the Kyuzo Jedi Master from Phase 1. Thanks to the jump back in time, we're following her as a Padawan on Takodana, where she has dreams of being a pirate like Maz Kanata instead. But what she really wants is to be part of a great story. She is seeking adventure and excitement, and when she proves herself worthy of joining Maz's pirate crew, she starts to get what she's after. This feels very similar to the Phase 1 run of the series, which makes sense. It's still written by Daniel Jose Older, and I always like his sense of humor when it comes to all ages Star Wars stories. By the way, I released an interview with him yesterday about the comic and Phase 2 as a whole if you want to check that out. The first issue of the new Yoda series mostly takes place back during the High Republic as well. Yoda hears the call of a people who are being attacked by raiders on their homeworld. While the Jedi Council deliberates, Yoda leaves his seat as Grand Master to defend them all and decides to stay there until he is certain the people are safe, learning their ways and defending them against attack, but the raiders plan to return. Star Wars Issue 29 is a great segue from the High Republic era into the original trilogy era, because at the start of this new arc, Luke, Leia, Lando, Chewie, Lobot, and Amilyn Holdo are in search of some Nihil technology. Holdo has a line on a lost convoy from the High Republic that should be full of fuel for the Alliance if they can only find it. They steal a Nihil path engine from an Imperial who won an old Nihil strike ship in an auction, and during their escape, it jumps them straight to No Space, the old Nihil headquarters. I am very into that. I've said before that I love seeing the ruins of familiar locations, and that's exactly what we're about to get. I am pumped to see our classic Star Wars characters learn about what happened 200 years before them. The first issue of The Hidden Empire got off to a very intriguing start. We see what Kira's plans have been building to, and basically she hopes to free an ancient Sith Lord in hopes that they will wipe out Darth Sidious. We don't know who or how yet, we just know that she has found a Sith Lord kept in stasis or something, and she thinks she knows how to wake them up. I am 100% interested in seeing where this goes, and I think it's good to set up a mystery like this since we ultimately know the whole plan will fail. I will also point out that I think Prince Shizor from Shadows of the Empire was in this. He wasn't called by name, so I can't be sure, but he was mentioned back in the Crimson Reign comics, so I think that was meant to be him. Dr. Aphra issue 26 was a great companion to the Hidden Empire. It takes place slightly earlier, but we see that the Spark Eternal, which has still possessed Aphra, knows what Kira is planning and wants to try to find the Sith Lord for herself. I think that's her plan anyway, it's still kind of vague. She also took control of 000 and BT-1, which is terrible, but in the most fun, zany way. This series has kept a great balance of being connected to the larger comic storylines while still feeling unique and not too tied down. Bounty Hunters issue 28 was pretty good. Tasu Leech killed the team's main client out of revenge, and so they all have to fight their way off of a space station in an exciting sequence that also bounced between funny and a little cheesy. Strapped for cash, they take a job from Crimson Dawn attacking an Imperial supply run, which just so happens to be protected by their old friend Valance, who is still stuck serving Darth Vader, so I am excited for their paths to converge once more. Darth Vader issue 29 continued some cool storytelling surrounding Padme's handmaidens as they attempt to find and rescue Sabe from serving the Empire. But Sabe is on a mission to assassinate the grandson of Wat Tambor. We are meant to question whether or not she'll go through with that the entire issue, and in the end, she does. I like seeing her noble intentions twisted and corrupted by the power the Empire has given to her. I kind of expect there's more going on and that she isn't completely lost and playing into their hands, but I don't know, and I like that. Star Wars Revelations combined all of the post-Empire era comics to give us hints of what's to come. The Eye of the Webbish Bog summons Vader to an audience on Mustafar and shows him visions of the future, and it was weird. I think it was supposed to be. We were told a little bit more about the Sith Lord that was frozen in time and how it happened thanks to a device built by Darth Momin. We also learned of a droid revolutionary that arose and fell during the High Republic, but whose memories survived and were remade. Honestly, there wasn't anything huge in this issue. It seemed like a summary for people who need a way into all the current storylines, but some of the final pages did suggest we might finally see how Luke got his green lightsaber crystal, and that is intriguing. Han Solo and Chewbacca issue 7 was another fun ride. Chewie and Maz Kanata break out of prison with a little help from Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan, and then they're reunited with Han, who just so happened to be on his way to rescue his friend anyway. A little convenient, but whatever. It's just a fun, lighthearted adventure, but they've lost the Millennium Falcon, so they head back to Tatooine to ask their old friend Greedo where it might be. And finally, The Mandalorian issue 5 covered the 5th episode of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. Like the past 4 issues, it is a straightforward retelling, nothing new to add in terms of canon stuff. The 3rd issue of Hyperspace Stories and Tales from the Rancor Pit also came out in November. I couldn't get my hands on the physical-only release of Rancor Pit, and Hyperspace Stories came out yesterday, and Molly and I left for a post-Andor vacation, so I'll try to play some catch-up in the December canon update. December itself is going to be kinda light anyway. We're taking a little break between Andor and The Bad Batch Season 2, but we still have 8 comics on the way. And for some reason, 5 of them all come out on the 28th? Okay, but that's how we're going to wrap up an exciting and full 2022. I'll cover all those new stories on New Year's Day when the canon update returns. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.